morning, good afternoon, from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome again to another episode of Men's Reflection. We appreciate so much. We hope that you have subscribed. We hope that you are getting notification every time we upload a new video, because here it's about learning. We are appreciative of God so far. We've been doing a good job. Uh, it has been doing okay, and today we are back again at Canaan Resort. We have told you again of the amazing facilities that they have. They have gardens whereby you can host your parties, graduation, birthday party for your kids. It's very safe, by the way, for the children. They have a swimming pool, which is really nice. They have children's center, and we have accommodation too for anyone that would want to spend a night. Maybe you are late or you want to get away kidogo to have a conducive environment. Be sure that Canaan Resort is the place to be. Canaan is on your way to, is in Modatare, Embu County, on your way to Keretiri. We are in another day. Another guest is together with us, as we promised you that we are going to be bringing men on board. Our show is about celebrating men and getting to understand who is a man, be it in career, be it in ministry, be it in business, and getting to understand the challenges that boy child is facing, from upbringing to parenting. We also look at the academic part of it and some of the things that we need to learn, so that we know how to support our boy child, so that we continue to motivate them to make it, because it is possible to make it. Remember, without men we cannot be able to continue with this generation of ours. No matter how much we want to assume we can do without them, we need them. And for us to be assured of our tomorrow, it is our responsibility to ensure that we nurture our boy child. And today we have an amazing guest on board. He is a teacher by profession, and he is doing an amazing job. So I don't want to introduce him. I want him to say hi to us, our viewers, and he is going to introduce himself and also to tell us where he teaches and what subject he teaches. And then from there we are going to discuss with him, as a teacher, from a teacher point of view, the challenges that a boy child is facing in his way to achieve the academic that we'd want them to achieve. So please, our guests, you're most welcome.
Thank you very
Good to
much.
have you. Thank you for making time. Please introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us your name, what you do. Yes.
Thank you, Terry. Our viewers, welcome to this session. My name is David Muriithi, a teacher of mathematics and chemistry at All Saints Kigali Day. I have been teaching mathematics and chemistry for the last 10 years, and I
Wow.
believe that today we shall have a candid discussion about the boy child. So welcome very much.
We are happy to have you on board. Mr. Muriithi, thank you so much for making time. We know that you are a family man. We know that you are a man who is in the ministry. And as a teacher, we appreciate so much for finding time. Because truth be told, we need to have this conversation.
Sure.
If we don't have these conversations, teachers are going to feel as if parents have extended the role to the teachers. Us, we just parent. When it comes to school fees, we pay. And we maybe don't understand what is our role in parenting a boy child. What are the challenges that you as teachers are facing at this particular time? Because all we are doing together, the purpose of this channel is to help us all to come together to understand our various responsibility in raising a godly man. And a godly man is built. He is not at existing anywhere. So it's for us to nurture from that boy child that is growing from nursery to primary school, and now you are a high school teacher. I know there is a lot that you'd want us to know, so that we can be able to know, where am I supposed to do what. So I think you can start by telling us what are some of the challenges, what has been the experience in being a mathematics teacher. Did he just say he has been doing that for the last 10 years? Let us not go to that, because we teacher wa mao. Here he is, by the way, guys. So please tell us, what has the experience been like?
Oh, thank you. So the challenges, I will start by this child who has been brought to Form 1.
Yeah.
This one is a boy who is in the adolescent stage.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you are now receiving an adolescent stage, child who are just maybe undergone through the transition from primary school to secondary school. And here, I can tell you for sure that the boys that we receive in the secondary school section, they usually have what we call identity crisis.
Wow.
This is a boy who has just arrived to school. He's being introduced now to writing an exam instead of A, B, C, as they were doing in primary school.
Yeah.
So this child now, like I've been dealing with boys who are coming to a school that is mixed, in a mixed scenario.
By the way,
Yes.
now the one thing, they have already gone through what we all know.
Yeah.
That is the rite of passage for a boy, the circumcision part of it.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry to, if I can take you back a little bit, do you think the society is nurturing the boy child enough even before they go through the circumcision process? Because for me, I feel as if we are just growing boys. When they are of age, they just go to circumcision. Maybe they don't even understand what that means, what to do after that, what is it that is expected of you, because after that, that is where now I think whatever you have addressed starts from, the identity crisis. You people took me too, and I got a knife and everything, the cat. Then what happens from there? I appreciate that the fact that the churches have come on board to take up the responsibility. We are seeing them taking boys for a week or 2 weeks. But what happens after the 2 weeks? Because after that, some few weeks, you're supposed to go to Form 1. Once they come to you, what is your take on the society being involved, the parent, the people that are supposed to be mentoring these boys before circumcision and after? Do you think we are doing enough?
No, absolutely. I'll say that we are not doing enough. And the rite of passage, unlike the old times, where a child would go through the circumcision period and then would go either to the grandfather or even to the church elders, and they are given enough advice. These days, we just have it just like an occasion. In fact, I would say an occasion, a one-day thing. The child is taken there, gets circumcised, and then they are back home. And in some circumstances, and like you have just highlighted, some of the churches have seen that gap, and they are now taking up the responsibility. So they are now taking up those who have done the KCP. They are now taking them to a place whereby they go through the rite of passage, and through there they go through some sessions. But I still believe, Telly, that that is not enough. That is, 1 week is not enough to nurture this boy to a responsible person. Although he has gone through the cut, he is of age, because most of them now at 12, 13, 14 years in between there. So this child requires a lot of nurturing, especially from the parents, the church, and even in school when they have come. Just like I've told you now, when we receive our Form 1s, we just have some very short sessions of orientation. And that orientation is about school, not about.
It's not about.
It's not about that you are now a man. Some of them have been to boarding schools, whereby it was purely boys. Now they have, here they have now come to a mixed school where there are female students among them. So, and now that they have gone through the rite of passage, you'll find that there is that identity crisis. They want to be identified. They want to be identified as a man, as you would say, and you say. Now, that's where the challenge is coming in.
It is true, because I would want to be recognized as a man. After all, I've gone through the cut, and you have told me now you are a man. That's all. So why won't I behave like one?
That is exactly what is happening now. So when they come to schools, I think we need a session with them. Because like I've told you that they have not been able to identify what exactly have I come to do to Form 1. And you see, nurturing a man would mean that these people require some wants from a person who has gone through the experience. They require a session whereby they are told that what it entails to be a man. But now we leave this one to their peers. And when they come not to their peers, they are given long advice. For example, they in most cases, what I've experienced is that they are told that if you are not smoking bang, if you are not
a man,
exactly, you are not man enough, you cannot smoke a whole puff or a whole stick of a bang or cigarettes and so on. So that is now the kind of nurturing that they are given.
And if you have not slept with a girl, you have not manned up.
Exactly.
Then, wow.
Exactly. In fact, Now that we have talked about the adolescent stage,
Yeah.
you can be sure that that is a discussion that they would have among the peers. Who is having more girlfriends? Who is attracting more girls to their sides and so on? So this is just a Form 1 who has come, and I strongly believe that that's where they are going wrong, because
Yeah.
the way they introduced the education system to the secondary school system is actually now determining how they're going to finish through the system.
That is true.
Yeah, and so because the orientation in Form 1 in most of the schools is not very comprehensive, they are not told details.
Yeah.
They are not cautioned on what to do, the do's and the don'ts in a secondary school and so on. So you find that they discover by themselves.
And this discovery that we are talking about, what is the discovery that we are talking about? You know, if you go through me in a desert and you want me to figure a way out, if I tend to figure that a way out and I get to the other side, you're not supposed to tell me my way is wrong, because I figured it out on my own.
Exactly.
So I'm looking at a gap that we have. If I can borrow your words, we are looking at a gap that we have, both from parent side or the societal side. From the point of academic, we have a gap, and the spiritual part, that nobody has taken the responsibility of helping a man transition from a boy to a man. And it is a process that we know very well. It's not a one-day process.
Sure.
But we have made them feel like you just need to go through the cut and you are good. Sure. So how do we, I've told people again and again, I sit at a place where I feel we have a lot of expectation from men, but we have given them very little support. Because I expect a boy that I have not nurtured to behave like a man. Where is he going to learn from? And if you as a teacher who has and even January, very soon, actually I think it's in a week or some few days, they are coming to you.
Sure.
What are the things that you feel a parent should do, or what do you think is the role of a society? Let's talk, when we talk about parent, we are not talking of people that have just given birth to kids that are coming. We are looking at a society. Maybe this boy is being brought up by a grandparent. In that home there could be an uncle, there could be an aunt. What do you think is the role of a parent in helping a boy transition from being a child to a man, before we come to you as teachers?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I think from that, I will make this comment and say that one, we need to build a lot of confidence in the boy child.
Yes.
And let me tell you, there is something that has been happening that personally I've not been happy about how parents have been handling their children, especially the boy child. You'll find that during the opening of schools, just like this January, you'll find that most of the girls will go to a supermarket, they do a very good shopping, good shopping.
Culture.
Yeah, you'll find that in the supermarket they will be bought a few sanitary towels.
Yeah.
You'll find that they have been bought some
innerwears,
some tissue papers. You'll find that there are basic amenities that a girl will require. But then a boy is just told, you stay at home, take care of the cattle, but tomorrow I will be taking you to school. They are not even bought a tissue paper, just to use, just some very basic things. Pens, they will just buy from a nearby shop. There's no shopping for a boy child, for some parents.
Probably we don't think they need one.
Oh, but they need. I can tell you, take it from me that they need all this, because they are equally.
It is true.
They equally require those things for use. So therefore, I will ask parents, as you send your child to school, ensure that they have these basic items like tissue paper, the pens, a good uniform, a good cardigan to wear, especially those that are in the regions where it's very cold. You find that a boy is trying to struggle here and there. They don't have ni mwanaume anafaa atafuta watu. But I will ask parents so that we can nurture this boy for confidence. Let them have whatever that is required for basic survival. Let's have soap. Even if your child is in a day school, let them have some soap, bathing soap. Let them have good clothing for their uniform. Yeah, exactly.
Ama wao wananini maji ya chumvi, hiyo story inaisha.
Unapata Colgate hakuna, and they have to survive by themselves. So I ask parents, let us build that boy child. Just the way we are taking care of the girl child when they are going back to school. Let's also do some shopping. Let's do some even once, let us encourage the boy child as they go to school, tell them what we expect as a parent. What is your expectation? Have you outlined what is my expectation? For example,
as you go to school.
yeah, for example, when you tell your boy, Muriithi here, listen here, go to school, when you come home with a B, when you come home with an A minus, when you come home with an A, this is what I'm going to reward you.
By the way, that reminds me, there is a speaker we had, the director, Achievers College. He was saying, I remember, I think I asked him what are the responsibilities of a father, and among them he talked about discipline. He talked about, I can't remember the other one, but there's something I captured, reward.
Yes.
But we don't think like they need rewarding.
But they require.
Like in Africa, uko sure there is something like a reward system. You know, as a HR, the reward system is something that is given for people who surpass maybe a target or something. But here you are as a teacher telling us about us rewarding our children. We would want to think it's their responsibility. After all, it's your life, you work hard, you know.
Yeah.
So why do you think a reward system with a child matters?
So I'll tell you this. There are two kinds of motivations that
Okay.
actually play a great role when it comes to education. There is what we call intrinsic from inside, from the inside of the child.
Yeah.
And there is what we call extrinsic
Okay.
from the outside now. So now the intrinsic one is the one that now the child will build from the inside.
Within herself.
Yeah,
or
you find
himself.
that a boy is saying, now that I've gone to this school, to school X, Y,
Yeah.
I'm going to work very hard. That is now intrinsic. But then, to motivate that and to ensure that it continues, we need extrinsic motivation, where we reward the child for doing good,
For the efforts.
for the efforts that they have done. If your boy had gotten a C plus, and this time they have come home with a B,
even if it's a B minus.
even if it's a B minus, tell them, congrats, son, and then give them a certain reward.
Okay.
You can even take them somewhere. They can have a swimming, they can have a lunch out,
Anything.
something, a token
Anything
from
that
the parent.
they are not used to, they will feel this is special. By the way, this is my dad taking me swimming. I had. And you know, it motivates them to work extra hard next time.
Exactly. It may look small, but the effect of it,
it's very
it's very much. And that's what parents are lacking. You don't require a lot of money to motivate your child. No.
Kidogo tu.
Hapana, kidogo tu. Kumwambia kwamba next weekend I'm going to take you out and have some lunch out because you did very well. If you cannot afford that, even a cup, just a cup, and then that's a reward. Now this one I was given by my mother because I have improved from here and there. Next time you'll find a lot of efforts.
I don't know whether these things when we were in school, hey, our times, Jesus, we thank God for our parents, because back then it's either you read or you don't. Whether you are given homework, it's your responsibility. You could hear my mother tell you, masomo unasomea nani?
Exactly.
But you see, with the generation that we have, I don't know how. I think it's by the grace of God. The fact that our parents were not so personal. Unless if you tell me yours was personal, ilikuwa ni wewe na life yako. But now we are looking at a generation whereby there are things we grew up not knowing. But I've said again and again, the social media has come to help, and it has come at the same time with equal measure. It has a lot of power to destroy the future of these young kids. So you realize that for us, we did not need the physical contact, because I'm sorry to say this, even as a girl, when we in our times when we were transitioning to girls, the moment your menses come, you could not even know what it is, and your mother was not there to tell you. You figure it out. But we are looking at a generation whereby if you don't tell them, the social media will tell them.
Sure.
Even if it is not your phone, his friend's phones are all over. They are still teaching our boys what it is to be a man. And I remember there is something I was asking someone. We are busy here talking about early pregnancies, Mr. Muriithi.
Yes.
We are shielding the girl child from the early pregnancies. And I was thinking of it this way. Who brings about the early pregnancies? Make it simple, the irresponsible boy child.
Sure.
Because we have not sat them down to teach them the morals and the values, yet we have an expectation that they will see a girl and keep off. How?
Exactly. That's
So where do we balance this issue of the early pregnancies? How has it been? And what do you think is the role as a society, as a church, we are supposed to address? Not now from a girl's point of view, from a boy's point of view as a teacher who spends days with them, better part of your life you spend with them.
Yes.
So how do we address it?
Yeah, I would say this. One, we require to revive what we are calling life skills. You know, Ministry of Education and a very important program
Yeah, yeah.
that it was called life skills.
Mhm.
It's supposed to take place between 1 and 2 after lunch. That's after lunch. So in our schools, we expect that students are supposed to be taken somewhere, maybe the boys now,
Yeah.
with a teacher, a male teacher, to go and nurture them.
To discuss male things.
Exactly, to discuss what it takes to be a male. And that way, the boy will be told that even if you don't get pregnant, there are what we call STIs. There is what we call irresponsible fatherhood, because actually, even if you become a father who is an absent father, the guilt is still there.
And you still become a father even if it doesn't change the fact that there is a child out there that is yours.
Exactly. So there are so many things that are psychological that come with being an absent father. So these children require those sessions, what we refer to as life skills. And it's unfortunate that in our schools these days, they're not very effective. You'll find that the programs are not very effective. Maybe the guidance and counseling teachers who are in our schools, maybe they also have other responsibilities like teaching. They have other responsibilities. You find that teacher is also in sports and so on and so forth. Therefore, the time that is given for counseling is actually very limited in our schools. And therefore, what I would say is that the responsibility of putting up a man who will be able to know that they are supposed to be responsible in life, just as they go out there. They may meet a girl, right? They may interact, but there is limits to those interactions. And they should be able to know that once they break those limits, there are repercussions, like now becoming a father. Somebody will become pregnant in school. Somebody will drop from school. Although the boy will not drop, but psychologically they will drop out of school.
Be your fault.
They are in school. The boy is in school, but actually has dropped from school emotionally and psychologically.
And the guilt that comes with it.
Yeah, the guilt that comes with it. So we require people that are responsible, and that life skills program, I would urge so much, let us have that life skills program brought back to our schools and be very active on them. And then the guidance and counseling teachers to be equipped with information, books that these students can read by their own, maybe, and then you can now engage them after that, and then they will be able to tell you, what is it that is there about responsibility? My responsibility as I interact with the counterparts, that's the female students, and that one will be help our schools to have issues that are the social gap that is there. It would have been broken by that. Life skills, I would say, is very important, and not just for the teachers, but also for us as parents. When they get home, some of them, I understand that they come from a family whereby the father may not be there. And that should not be hinder the boy from getting the correct information, because there is an uncle, there is a neighbor, there is a church elder, and so on and so forth. So let them be, we take it as a responsibility in society to talk to the boy child about the importance of the aspects that are social in nature. How are they supposed to socialize? How are they supposed to interact in their day-to-day lives? Otherwise, we have left that one to the social media, just like you have said. They go around there, they discover by themselves, and they do a lot of mess out there. And when they have done the mess now, we sit and start now saying, oh, you know, these people, the boys have become very responsible. We do not have men in society. We start talking very negative things about it. Yet, we failed at some point.
So, you're telling us to sit down and have words with our children. We are in a busy economy, mwalimu. Pesa haitoshi. I hear one of my friends were telling me, soon by the way there will not be the free education. How do you expect a parent to balance? You know, growing up, let us be very honest, and I always talk about my life personally. You did not need a parent to police you around. You know, another day we went, I was invited in Muranga for a Thanksgiving service, and afterwards I found the family that had invited me. It was an amazing opportunity because the father of that home is someone that has done something that I don't know I've ever had anyone doing. Because not only has he motivated his own sons to repeat, I think, Form 2 and Form 3 twice, because maybe they were not performing very well, this man has also picked the sons around that village,
Yes.
and sat them down in his home and living with them.
Wow.
He wakes up at 3, he wakes them up at 3 or it's 4. Yeye anakaa chini, anasinzia, anawakalisha wasome. Me, I saw something I've never heard of. Actually, I'm hoping that soon we'll be able to maybe have him on board. But with him, he has brought up sons. Sons, not his own biological.
Yes.
The village knows. And I was asking myself, oh my God. We are living in a generation whereby our time, you did not need anybody to police you around. Mwalimu ukitoka shule, kijana alikuwa anajua lazima akatakatie ng'ombe nyasi, lazima aende akatafute majani ya kutandikia ng'ombe juu tu kukua na cowshed zenye zimesementiwa. Yani there were naturally given responsibility to a girl child and a boy child. But even when you wako sahi, they don't have that responsibility. Parents don't have the lands that we used to go and cultivate to. And now, but they are busy. There are so many things that are supposed to be done for this child. So maybe our parents think my sole responsibility is as far as I've paid school fees for you, you are good to go. So hiyo part ingine, Mr. Muriithi, please, you are the teacher. I expect you to handle this boy. There is a teacher among that group that we had gone for Thanksgiving who said, I'm even surprised that in this generation, unaweza itia mzazi a case ya mtoto, akwambie, we kaa na huyo mtoto, niko busy, I will come. So it's not an emergency for parents to come and hear what you as teachers have to say about their children.
Sure.
So the child knows, Mr. Muriithi, we imba. Mom is not available. She is very available, and my dad, mali ako job, haizi patikana. So what do we do? Because it is true we have a responsibility, but how do we balance? Or where do we strike the balance between the busy schedules and making not the teacher feeling like mzazi umetupea responsibility, because I think that is what we have done. We have transferred our parental responsibility to you people.
Yes.
So ours is just financial.
Yeah.
You ingine mwalimu si unalipwa. You take it up.
In fact,
gladly take it up.
Allow me to say this. There are some cases whereby we have had children with problems in school.
Yeah.
Then you ask them, tomorrow come with your father, tomorrow come with your mommy. And when they come, and as a teacher you try to explain to the parent, he says, no, this is not my boy. This is not my boy.
Wow.
So allow me to say this, Terry, that as a parent, no matter how busy we are, we must get time for our children. That is, in as much as we are looking for money, school fees here, the economy is very bad and we are doing all that. In our busy schedules, we must schedule to have time for our children. Otherwise, the generations that will come will not have been nurtured at all. Now, allow me to even give you a quote. My father is a very busy man. But as we were growing up, I and my brother, as we were growing up, one, we didn't have an elder sister. We were just, the firstborn is a boy, Emma, a male. So we were two males, and then the sister came 9 years later.
Wow.
So you can be sure now, we were just males. But you know what? In as much as my dad was very busy, there were some rules that he would set. For example, he would say that you can, after school, you can go and interact with other boys in the society and play your games there. But once it is at 6:30, you must be in the house. Otherwise, if it's 6:30 and you are outside the gate, you stay there. So that was a rule he had put. And that rule was capping us. In as much as we are praying somewhere, we knew that by 6:30 we were supposed to be at home.
That reminds me something, if I can cut you short a little bit.
Yes.
We are in a generation whereby we care so much about the safety of a girl child. But the boy,
nobody cares.
You don't care because you are like 6. Modhoni hajafika nyumbani and you start making calls. The girl is not at home.
Sure.
But my friend, for the boy, anaweza hata ajalala kwake, mzazi hata ajui, mara unasikia amepatikana na motorbike wapi. I appreciate motorbike have become a source of livelihood to so many young people. But do you think we have loved our boys enough? Because I'm sorry to say, I also tend to feel this boy child, we are carrying it also to marriage. I don't know what it is to be loved. I don't know what it is to be kept safe. But now I am getting married to this woman that want me to be the man and to keep her safe, the children safe, to keep with some rules that she is making for the sake of the marriage to survive, because it is true, it's needed. But growing up, I was in a kind of a free world. So those rules that used to be kept by our parents, because it is true, that reminds me, in our times, ungeitishwa mzazi shuleni, it's either ufikange akupate,
Exactly.
na unajua vizuri sana, chances are you and your parent are not going to see eye to eye, because it doesn't matter whether you are right or wrong.
Sure.
But you knew
That.
you had the script of what will happen in that environment.
Exactly.
But now, the safety of the boy child, because again, on that note, it makes me remember that on several occasions, I'm a trainer by profession, and I've asked people that in training where I work during the internal trainings, do you think even a man can be sexually abused? And I'll tell you for sure, wanaume wangu wanakaa ngumu, wanakwambia but is it the case? Are we not having boys that you people are teaching that are sexually molested?
They are there.
But how do they handle it? So what is your take? My question is on the safety of the girl child.
The boy child.
The boy child, sorry.
Yeah. So I will say this, just like I've told you. In fact, if you look at even girls' schools, the way the fencing is done, the way
it's order.
It's very orderly. But when you go to a boys' school, you'll find that we don't care about the safety of the boy child so much.
Yeah.
The same thing that happens at our homes. In fact, the school is a replica of what is happening in our society. In our society, we are very concerned at what time will the girl arrive? When will they get home? When they have gone maybe to the shop, maybe they have gone for a certain occasion, when do they come home? We are even much concerned. We can even send a taxi to go for them if it's very late. But for the boy, unamwambia just walk home.
Wewe ni mwanaume.
Yeah, wewe ni mwanaume ni kujikaza. So we have those issues, and I will say this, just like I've told you, if we could have also some guidelines. As a parent, you put some guidelines for this boy child. Mwambie kwamba by this time ninamtaka nyumbani. Then akikuwa nyumbani, what is he supposed to do? Like just I've told you, at home we were supposed to be there at 6:30. Then by 7 we were supposed to be seated doing our preps. Whether dad is there or not, even if you come at 9, maybe at 9 or 8:30, you still find out, did we do as the instructions are? So what I'm saying is that you can still parent even if you are very busy. Just have a schedule at your home. There's some rules to be followed. Because just like I will tell you, even in a school, schools learn because there are rules there. If we allow an institution without rules, it's not possible.
Even the companies where we work, they run because there are policies.
To be followed. So even at your home, have some policies for that boy child. Let them know what exactly they are supposed to do from Monday up to Sunday. Then if it is church, and I want to say this, the part that can help us so much about safety, especially the social bit of our children and even the spiritual bit, is the church. If as parents we can be able to have ensure that our boys, the boy child, actually goes to church, participate in church activities, there they will be nurtured. They will be able to interact now with the correct people. They will get correct information, and then by the end of it all, we shall not have issues with the boy child. So nobody in some homes, nobody cares about Sunday. Where is our boys? We leave them in their cages where they sleep.
I'm an aunt to, I think there are 7 boys,
Yes.
And I normally tell parents, it's funny. Have you ever had a boy miss school because it rained, or even girls? It rained so heavily, mwalimu.
No.
We couldn't make it to school. It doesn't matter. Now, actually, even in our time, there was no something like umbrella. Tumepata umbrella after you have been able to earn your own money.
Sure.
But nowadays, what do we do? It's optional. You feel like you want to go to Sunday school. It's okay. But is that how it's supposed to be?
No. And even our ears, that was not optional. It was
by
9 you have to be in for Sunday school. And when you go for that Sunday school, after that Sunday school, at 11 you go for the main service. When mom and dad have come to the service, they are monitoring what we are doing. That means that they have control over
us,
how we spend our Sunday, how we spend our weekend. they have a lot of control over that. And that, I can tell you, is the one that's messing so many of our boys. We are leaving them in their cages asleep, and then we allow them, we go to church, and we don't care about where they have gone. Now in the evening is when we will be asking, where's your school uniform? Are you going to school tomorrow? You see, you are now caring about at the end of the day. But if you could have taken care of the child from the beginning of the day, then we could have control over how they spend their weekend, their free time, how they spend it, because that's where now many of them are messing up. And I can tell you, Terry, most of our children who are going to drugs and substance abuse, because it's on the rise now, even in our schools where we are teaching, that is a major problem. Drug and substance abuse, it's on the rise.
And it's affecting the boy child.
It's affecting the boy child, and this is even the girl child, but the biggest percentage is the boy child. They are in danger. You find that they're in bar, they're in mirror, they're in pool tables. You see, on that Sunday, utapata kijana ameenda akacheza pool the whole Sunday, hajaenda kanisani. So in the pool, kuna watu ambao wana smoke sigara hapo. Kuna mtu ana smoke bang, and that's where they start.
Then on Monday in the morning, you find out hata ajui uniform iko wapi.
Exactly.
The next thing when the boy comes, shati ni vile imekuwa for the last 2 weeks, haijaona maji. So in short, what you're trying to say is we should embrace, the moment you embrace and shield a child. I'm a mother to a daughter, and my daughter has a habit of hugging me when maybe I'm sad and something. And I am imagining that we have been shielding a girl child, but the boy child we really don't care. And yet, after they have grown up, we want them to be men. We want them to be responsible. We are getting sad, and I have said this again in another show, and I'll keep on saying, we have so many parents that are sick right now. Pressure, diabetes, all because of the way their sons have turned out. And I think as we are bringing these discussions on board, our viewers, we urge you to really listen and share what we are talking about. Mr. Muriithi here is a teacher that spends, I think, 300 of his days with boys, and he can be able to tell us what you have heard for yourself, what are the challenges that are facing the boy child. Mr. Muriithi, tell us, I think in less than a week, parents are busy doing shopping for girl child. We are busy scheduling time, actually even asking for a list. What is it that you don't have? But we are not talking the same language to boys. And so it's for us, how do we are starting anew. We would want a parent that has a boy out there to twist a little bit and pay attention to the way they parent a boy child, to shield the boy child, to show love. Because if you expect a boy to love a woman in the right way, you must first show him how to love himself. Actually, when it comes, I think, to children, we love them, then show them how to love themselves. So what would you tell a parent that has a boy in school? Maybe anaenda the next class of years. We have some that are joining from 1. What would be your word out there? Because I can see our producer is signaling us about time, and we respect that. What would you tell a parent that is having a boy child? Or it might not be my son.
Yes.
Like me, I have several boys that calls me aunt. What am I supposed to do in the way that we raise them? Because raising a child is not an individual responsibility.
Yes.
Whatever they turned out to be, it's not beneficial to only the biological. It's a family thing, it's a societal thing, it's a clan thing, it's a church thing, and finally it's a nation issue. What is your advice to parents?
So my advice to the parents, first, I would want to say this. If you have both the girls and the boys at home, don't show some disparity, especially like you want to pay school fees for the girl asifukuzwe sana, the boy asilipiwe. Balance them. Let us have a balance whereby if it's the issue of school fees, try your level best and ensure that you pay the school fees for that boy child the same way you have paid for the girl child. Asianzie kusema na nini anapendwa, mimi sipendwi.
So what you're saying, there are parents that do that?
Yes, there are some parents who will do that. They will pay for the girl, maybe who is in a boarding school, and tell the boy, when nitakuangalia baadaye. Let us not have that kind of a scenario. Number 2, I would urge parents, to go and do shopping for the boy child. Let's have the shopping done for the boy child. Wacha kupatie list just the same way the girls are doing. Mnunulie hizo vitu ambazo anahitaji. Acha kumwambia sijui mwanaume ajipaki mafuta. No. Analikuwa mafuta.
Nini mwanamke meno ni kunuka meno, maybe chumvi.
Yeah, that Colgate. Hiyo Colgate ambayo anataka anunuliwe. That toothbrush, that new pair of shoe, that new trouser. Wacha I feel akiwa ya kwamba taken care of. Yeah. And that's one thing that when they feel they are loved, we are now making that man to appreciate what we call love.
Yeah.
We call it affection. Yeah, affection, domain, affection. Even in education, that affection should be there. So let us not have parents who will not do shopping for their boy child, but let them buy the items that are required for the boy child. Pia nimesema alipiwe school fees, and also wacha apate nafasi ya kwamba if it's ni kupelekwa shule. Wacha niseme nikwambie Terry. Ukienda kwa girls schools, utapata ya kwamba fathers are there, mothers are there, wanaleta mtoto. Lakini kijana anafikishwa town anaambiwa we songa ukienda. So if there's a parent who is watching this show, please I'm urging you, take time and ensure that even that boy child amepelekwa hata shule. I feel that anapenda.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That is nice. That is nice. I am glad we had this conversation because my heart goes out to boy child. My heart goes out to parents out there, and we have been told a lot. This conversation would have gone for, but I'm sure that Mr. Muriithi is going to be available for the show. We appreciate so much. To our viewers, I know that you can see this video and you are in a position to share it. Please let us this video reach to our parents that have boy child. We have been told, let us ask for the shopping list. Even if it's that small Colgate, don't tell him to go do salt and warm water, he is good. No, it's time to show affection to our boys. It's time to attend to their needs, and that needs could be financial, that need could be emotional, that needs could be spiritual. It is time to pay attention to our boys, and with that I'm sure we are going to reach our goal of building up and bringing up a wholesome man that we can now have expectations from. Because at the moment, I will still stand to say, I feel we have a lot of expectations from boy child, but we give little or even no support. So we appreciate so much. We want to thank you for watching our show. We want to thank you for being part of this journey that we are trying to transit our boys to become responsible men, so that our nation can stand, so that our families can stand, so that our parents can live a little bit longer, not ending up in early graves because of the stress and the depression about the boys and the children. We want to appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to walk this journey with us. We want to appreciate Canaan Resort for giving us quite a conducive environment to be able to host these conversations. Please watch out for our next video, and we are sure that we are going to learn together. We said we are getting into a man's world, and as you can see, we are getting into the bottom of understanding the challenges that the boys are going through, and so that we can be able to parent them better, for us to have men that we can be able to hold them accountable in future. So Mr. Muriithi, thank you so much for joining us. May God bless you so much. To our viewers, we want to wish you all the best. God bless you. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and to like that video. Even leave a comment on even what you'd want us to discuss best, or the challenges that you have seen happen with the boys around you. God bless you. Thank you.